Welcome back to the plantKEmistry channel, and today we are going to be filling up two different types of moss poles by a company called Mythos 3 Design. And I'm going to be explaining to you guys why these poles are so special to me, why we use them, and what they can do for you and why you should add them in your collection. We have the honeycomb D-shaped moss pole and we have the XL modular moss pole. They both have great things to offer, but they also offer a lot of different perks in their own way. So, starting off with the honeycomb D-shaped moss pole, it has a front facing honeycomb design and it's a D-shaped moss pole. I did not install the plastic. When you order from Mythos, it comes with a sheet of plastic that you will have to peel, and I wanted to do that with you guys and install it on the pole, which helps retain moisture, also allowing you to give you that clear back so that way you can see your roots grow. Next up, we have the XL modular um, moss pole. Why I like this is the size. It's very quaint, very small, um, but what it what differs from the XL modular opposed to the honeycomb D-shaped moss pole is water retention. And if you enjoy watering, I would recommend the XL modular. If you want to retain water and you take long trips and you're a busy person, I would highly recommend the honeycomb D-shape. The two contenders that we have would be Philodendron verrucosum beauty and sport variegated Philodendron verrucosum. There's not much sport variegation on them. There's one or two leaves that are sported, but it is still sport variegated. We have the verrucosum beauty on a XL modular pole, and we have the sport variegated verrucosum on the honeycomb D-shaped moss pole. Now, what this XL modular pole has done for me has been wonders. You can tell within the leaves I don't have much yellowing from watering at the tips, and it's because the pole dries out a lot and I only water the pole and the pole waters the pot. So it really helps me reduce the yellowing leaves when it comes to watering the modular, but I'm definitely watering a lot more than I am watering the honeycomb D-shaped moss pole. What I do enjoy about this moss pole is the amount of surface area. So if you have a plant like a monstera that has very hardy roots, this would be the pole for it. If you are trying to pot up more than one plant at a time, this would be the pole for it. Also, if you're trying to have a lot of moss and keeping a lot of it wet, this has a big surface area, so it has a lot to offer when it comes to moisture. Um, this pole has done wonders for me. I have no complaint. I water this pole about once every week, maybe once every week and a half. It saves me time, it saves me yellowing leaves, and it gives me the aesthetic that I'm looking for with my plant. The grids also, the honeycomb grid also allows for perfect aeration for the pole, but also great spacing for internodes and for your aerial roots to grow into this pole. Um, this would be my favorite of most of the Mythos products. Any of their D-shaped moss poles are my favorite type of moss poles. D-shaped moss poles retain a lot of water, saving you the hassle to have to water. And if you don't gotta water it and the plant can water itself, then we can reduce the cause of any fungal, any yellowing tips, and yeah, this is why I love both of these poles. So I'm getting ready to assemble the honeycomb D-shaped moss pole. This is the plastic sheet that it comes with. So we're gonna tear that off. it's really aesthetically pleasing to do that. Like it felt really good. So you have your clear back, and what we're gonna do. The cool thing about Mythos when it comes to these, um, any of their moss poles that they 3D print, would be that all of them come with a manual. All of them come with a guide for you to understand how to install it and how it's put together. Mythos 3 Design is a company that is based out of London. It is owned by a guy named David in London. Um, Great guy. Him and his wife make these poles, and they have been doing it for years. And you can tell when you buy a pole, if especially if you are a person that grows philodendrons or any plant that vines, you know the ups and downs when it comes to growing on a pole. And the design, the care, and the time you can tell was put into making this type of pole. So that is the D shape. It is assembled, and now we are going to fill her up. So the road to growing varicosums have been quite an adventure. Considering they are my favorite plant, what I love most about them is how responsive they are when it comes to growing a varicosum, and just the intense amount of interaction that you're able to have with your plant when you do grow a varicosum. Um, they have a lot to offer when it comes to features, colors, propagation, just everything. And that's why I always grow them and always have sought after getting as many types as I can get. Um, they're very resilient for as temperamental as they are. And I like to think about it, if you guys watch my acclimation video, I like to think about it as, it's like a new pet that you bring home. And your pet has to get used to the environment that it's in. It's going to be kind of shy and kind of standoffish for first couple months before he or she decides she wants to play and interact with everyone in the house. And that's kind of my resemblance to a philodendron varicosum. So here I already have it halfway packed. Make sure when you pack your poles, you stuff them as much as you can. Now don't stuff them too much. You definitely want to be able to leave air pockets within the spag. But that's also why Mythos poles are really good, because a lot of that stuff you don't really have to go into, you don't really have to think about. It's already thought about for you. The honeycomb pattern is there because it allows enough aeration for this much spag to be in one area, packed so much, and I'm pretty sure that has to deal with the dimensions and how much spag you can put in here when David was 3D printing these poles. And that's probably most likely the main reason why I don't have to water the D-shaped honeycomb pole a lot. Yeah, guys, check out Mythos 3 Design on Instagram. Their website is www.mythos3design.com. Definitely go check them out. They have more than moss poles. They have planters that pair with these moss poles. They have a variety of different colors of pots and moss poles. You can mix and match. You can follow the same color scheme. They have even wall mounts. I'm not sure. I don't grow staghorns, so I don't know what they're called, but there are moss wall mounts that they 3D print. So the Mythos D-shaped pole comes with brackets. So make sure you keep your brackets. It locks everything in place. So that's what we're gonna do right here. All right, we have the brackets installed to hold everything in place. And I did not fill her up all the way because she has not grown that far up. But here you have it, the honeycomb D-shaped moss pole by Mythos 3 Design. One thing that I forgot to mention for you all, um, one thing that comes with these poles would be anchors, and the anchors for this pole fits perfectly for this 4-inch pot, almost like he 3D printed the pole for the pot. This anchor is kind of centered, so once you put your substrate in, it kind of hardens when you after you water it and it dries, and it kind of anchors the pole. So we already have the XL modular pole filled up. We're just going to show you guys how to extend it, and it's quite easy. And that's why I kind of explain the anchors, because the anchors create that stability where you don't have to go buy a green gardening pole to stabilize your poles as they get bigger. So you're just going to attach it and you're going to start to screw. Just that simple. Voila. And there you have it. XL modular pole extension. Just kind of crooked, but that's okay. We just want to give some thanks to Mythos 3 Design for these two amazing products, the honeycomb D-shaped moss pole and the XL modular moss pole. Um, Great company, great product, great customer service, and for a company based out of London, their shipping is quite fast. So thank you, Mythos 3 Design. And we also have a couple more products from Mythos that we have coming up in our future videos. And I'm going to give you guys a quick peep on that. Not going to get too much into it, but this is a semi-hydroponic self-watering pot. Um, it's graded, so it slides back into its slot. There is also a moisture meter, so that way you can see your moisture level. It has a very good netted pot with a good planter. And the best part about it all is that this hydroponic planter comes with a moss pole. And as you've seen with the other poles here to my right, they have multiple extensions. So look out for that video, guys. And thank you for tuning in with plantKEmistry. Thank you to Mythos 3 Design. And you guys have a great day.